should say, I don't feel like acting on a sense of despair. Or maybe this whole activity is a response to a sense of despair that I've always had. There's some wicked old pickles in there. The quality of relationship that is possible with Roshi is very instructive. You know, he's both the friend and the enemy. He is just what he is. And of course he's going to be an enemy to your self-indulgence, an enemy to your laziness. He's going to be a friend to your effort. And he's going to be cunning, he's going to be charming, he's going to be lovable, he's going to be deceptive, he's going to be all the things that he has to be to turn you away from depending on him. And finally you just say, this guy is absolutely true. He really loves me so much that I don't need to depend on him. His love is a liberating kind of love, and his company is a liberating kind of company. So he's only interested in you making an effort to be yourself. So that's a very, very helpful kind of friend. And that's the kind of friend we should try to be to each other. I had some wonderful moments on the road, traveling with musicians and playing with musicians and, playing in different countries before different kinds of people. There were some wonderful moments and wonderful concerts. But I was never really, except, when I have a few bottles of red wine and sing my heart out with some great musicians, and that was wonderful. And I'll cherish those moments. But by and large, I didn't have what it took to really enjoy my success or my celebrity. I was never able to locate it. I was never able to use it. I like the regime. I find it very comfortable, and I like the quietness of it. I like the idea of being with people and not having to speak. I like the silence. I like the company, the sense of community, and yet the silence in the midst of it. It's very different from being by yourself. It's a very rich silence. It's a very communicative kind of silence. So I like that very much. And I like, washing my little dishes and having my little bundle of dishes and spoons and chopsticks. It's very it's a voluptuous sense of economy that you can't find anywhere else. I mean, maybe the world was like this at one time. Maybe everybody took care of themselves this way. Maybe everybody really looked after things, and I don't know. But I like to be in a place where people cherish the idea of a clean table and of a meal that has been carefully cooked and carefully served and carefully eaten. To me, it's a very refreshing opportunity, especially in contrast with most of the a lot of the time I've spent, which has been chaotic. I like that life. My father had intended to send me to military academy when I was young, but he died, and of course my mother just sent me through the ordinary school system. But my father was an officer in the Canadian Army, and he had a great respect for the military education. I do too. I think it's important to cultivate certain virtues in young men and women, that these things are not automatic, and that the culture doesn't really provide them with any clear sense anymore, or maybe never did, I don't know. But I myself like the sense of order that is associated with the military, or the military training. I'm not talking about warfare. I'm talking about the kind of uncompromising training that is necessary to open the heart, to the fact that you're not alone.
Sometimes you've got the feeling that Roshi is walking behind you.
I've taught him everything he knows. He's said it a lot.
What?
That he's studied many things with me. But I wrote that a long time before I met Roshi, and I wrote that easily 30 years ago. And I've always had a great suspicion of charismatic holy men. I think it's very, very dangerous to hook up in a certain way with these guys. I mean, a lot of them are just headhunters. They know how to do it. It's not the content of their presentation has any significance. It's they know how to do it. They know how to gather people around them. That's what their gig is. Mm-hmm. They make you think that something important is going on, and you're hooked. I was always suspicious of, because I was able to do it in my own small way.
Yes.
I was always suspicious of that kind of activity, because I know that it can be done. It's just a kind of gift. It's like hypnosis. I was a very good hypnotist when I was very young.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily indicate any special concern for others or any sense of charity in your soul. It just represents the exercise of a gift, usually for your own mean purposes. So yeah, I've always been suspicious of holy men who have that gift. I mean, I never once have said to myself in a private moment, you are a clairvoyant, you can see the future. But I have felt that what has happened to me is going to happen to everybody. That's the only conviction I've ever had, is that what I feel is more or less what a lot of people feel. Not everybody, but a lot of people feel like I do or will feel like I do. That's the only sense of the future I've ever had. I did feel that things were breaking down, but I was breaking down, and a lot of people are not breaking down. A lot of people are leading perfectly cheerful lives, and they don't need to sit in, Zendo's 18 hours a day. I just, needed that kind of hospital environment. I wasn't good at it. I wasn't good at marriage. I wasn't good at husbandhood or fatherhood. I struggled along. I did my best. I continue to do my best. I have children, the children have a mother. I'm in relationship with their mother. I'm in relationship with my children. I tried to do the job. I'm not very good at it. I just tried to do it, to stumble along as best I can, and sometimes it's okay. I had whatever few materials I had, but mostly it was chaos and desolation. And it was just to organize something with what I had. A little melody, a chord, just pieces of bone and rag, just a few things to put together. And, at a certain point, that debris, that mess, that formless pool of slime and despair, it starts, even if it's about that, even if the song is about those matters, it still, becomes a universe of its own, and you can enter it, you can sing it, and you can communicate it, and you can inhabit it. So it strengthens you to do that kind of work. But you have to dive into it. Just the same way in Zazen. Things arise that are very, very disturbing. And there's no way around it. There's no way over it. There's no way under it. There's no way to the side of it. There's no forgetting it. You have to sit in the very bonfire of that distress. And you sit there until you're burnt away. And it's ashes. And it's gone. And it's the same way with writing, Some kind of itch, some kind of sense of unbearable disorder in your own life, unbearable worthlessness that drives you to, take whatever you got. And it's you don't stand in front of a buffet table, like I'll have a little of this and a little of that. It's like you've just got a few things. You're searching in your pocket, what can I use this, and maybe there's something there, and scratch something off of that. It's the opposite of luxury. It's the opposite of deluxe, the operation. The operation is like rag picking. And, to finally come up with something, as I say, that you can inhabit, that changes your mind about yourself. And changes your heart. And creates, a man around this song, around this poem. That's what it is, That's what the great glory is. I think we should end poetry and song with the ashes of experience. And, the ashes were well burned, and they were, you could clarify them, you could purify them, you could get rid of the clinkers and the chunks, and it could be, beautiful fine white ash, which is what a good song is, or a good poem. Something that really can blow away in the wind, and can blow right through you, and blow right through your heart. When you get out of the way of your own love, it becomes true, and it doesn't have when it's not fixed, when it's not solidified, and when it's not focused rigidly on another object. It broadcasts in front of you and in back of you, to the right of you, to the left of you, above you and beneath you. And you're in the center of a force field that includes everything, that has no inside or no outside, that doesn't look at anything, nor does it need to be looked at. It's like the taste of honey when you're very young. Or chocolate when you really need something sweet. And every cell of your body says thank you. That's what it's like. Well, I do have a sense of closure, of something being over, and successfully brought to completion. Something was brought to completion. I'm not sure what it is, but it gives you a chance to start something else, or it's not so much that I think about it. I never think about anything that I've done. I rarely come across it again. But I do have the sense that, some circle was closed, and now I can do something else.